Today we are in Matthew 7, verses 7 to 12.
যাচনা করো তোমাদিগকে দেয়া যাইবে, অন্বেষণ করো পাইবে।
Right. Since the Beatitudes at the beginning of chapter 5, Jesus has been talking about matters of the heart. These matters of the heart play themselves out in our attitudes and in our actions, but everything starts in the heart. He has talked about things like humility and mercy and peacefulness, and anger and lust and seeking God first, all these matters of the heart. Therefore, and this is important, this prayer pertains to our inner spirit, matters of the heart, not to our outward circumstance. He is not promising to give us whatever we ask for. He is promising to change our hearts as we ask about that.
তিনি আমাদেরকে এখানে মানে যা চাইবো তাই দিবেন।
Our lives work from what's in our heart outwards into our attitudes and actions. So when he says ask, seek, and knock, he's saying to pray that God would change your heart. That if you get your heart right and seek God with all your heart, you will find him. That's what he's talking about.
এর অর্থ এটা হচ্ছে
A stone is worthless for food. God is not offering you what is worthless. A snake is harmful. God is not offering you what is harmful. So what he's saying is that he will change your heart if you ask him. He's not offering something that's worthless or harmful. So he says, so in everything, do to others what you would have them do to you, for this sums up the law and the prophets. So verse 12 then sums up what he says about being a hypocrite rather than someone who receives what God has to give and in return gives it to others. As he has said before, our behavior as Christians must come from the heart. And the way we treat other people is a gauge of what kind of a relationship with God we have. Therefore, we should treat others as if we're bonded together in a sacred covenant. And if you need to ask God to change your heart about that, ask and you shall receive. So Jesus fulfilled the law and the prophets by living in God's will and according to God's purposes, and then acting out God's will and God's purposes in his life. In a similar way, we can fulfill the law and the prophets by being God's presence on the earth as an example of God's character. And if you need help with that, ask and you shall receive, seek and you will find.
এবং এই পরিকল্পনা বাস্তবায়ন করতে
So what comments or questions do they have?
মন্তব্য কথা দাদা এখানে আমরা যেটা দেখলাম যে আসলে এখানে
So what he said that overall from the preaching or people's talk he understood that when I ask something from God, he will be giving that. He will give that. But now from your teaching, he understood that it's not literally something if I ask that God will give. God didn't promise that, but promised something that what the things that I do not have to become requirement of becoming or obtain the characteristics of Jesus, becoming the Son of Jesus or God. So what to become more or more like him, what the requirement if I ask to then he will be giving us. He will be helping us to make our heart more accurate, more dedicated for him. He will prepare our heart, not something that I ask and he will give. It's not about that thing. So he learned this for the first time.
Okay.
আমরা মন থেকে যদি যেগুলো আমাদের মনের পরিবর্তনের জন্য
What he said that maybe what he found that if as a child of God he takes care of us, so he also thinks that for what is needed for living in this world, he is providing those. So, and even if we want what we need to him and ask for that from our heart, then he also provides somehow from anywhere, but we do not know, but he also provides that. And when it says if we want he will give, that's also a part, that's what he believes, but he also will prepare us as his son, the what brother Taposh said also. And means this is the main part, that when we can become his son, then he will take care of us with everything.